they can bleed, still they can have some opportunities. I think this will be a really good benchmark against P7. This is what this game is. It's a benchmark. How good are P7 coming into this? We know from the recent results they're pretty good. Heretics showed up last tournament. Can they show us even more here at EWC?
It's the big question too, because you remember all the way back to EWC last year, Heretics actually lost to a challengers team in groups. And that's something that obviously these players in general aren't going to be thinking about, because we've reshaped this roster with Rancor and Super, but at the same time, it's a history point that you don't want to repeat right now against not just this P7 team, but also Omit, who are also in your bracket or in your group, who are also a force to be reckoned with. So this is definitely something where you look at this, and this team, I wouldn't expect them to come into this with the ego of we are the better team. These are very humble players. It's going to be a very well-fought battle.
It certainly will indeed. Well, momentum is on the side of Heretics, but sometimes that can also bite you in the behind as well. What will happen this time around is heading into game now, so boys, it's over to you.
All right, let's get right into this one. As you can see, the teams heading into the blender that is going to be P1. And this is basically ex-CDL versus current CDL teams, and we'll see exactly how it goes down.
And one thing I think is going to be a really big level up for this P7 esports squad, Bryce, is the fact that they not only have Mr. Atur behind them, but they've also brought Major Maniac as one of the coaches for this tournament. One of, if not the most clutch players we've had in the history of Call of Duty. So if that's something to keep them level head throughout a really tough matchup versus Team Heretics, I don't know what else would be.
Well, we will find out. Obviously, it's a good start for P7 here in this one, of course. That first P1 into the rotation, if they can make it work. But at the moment, the Heretics will draw a little bit of first blood here, but it's still very much up in the air. When you see these two teams go for it, they have a little bit of control towards the back. It is a slow burning push from both sides, as they do not want to give away unnecessary kills.
I have the back spawns right now. If you're P7, Standy gonna get shut down though in the hard points. And you see this for P7. Not only are they gonna retake the hill, but you got Prolute cutting off the rotations. He's working towards top catwalk, and he's making it really hard for Team Heretics to get off on a hot foot.
And that is a wonderful start. Prolute really just changed the momentum of P2. Everything cut down for Heretics. Fans' voices dropped to a low rumble. Here comes the break. It will be a push now. Heretics do want to get back into this one, but that is a good couple of kills here. Prolute break answer back as well, and Brack tries to stay alive at the point. Isn't going to happen. There will be scrap time on the plate now for Heretics.
It's just scrap time though for now. You have a couple players from P7 off the spawn going to fight for old, and I'm not sure if I agree with this play. It seems like they want to isolate some of these members towards new, but Super doing a good job at playing his life, making it easy for the players off rotation to reinforce this P3 hill. And they actually get the better spawns for this, so they're going to have top gold control watching over Rancor in the hill.
Rancor, that's a big kill to win as well. Trying to get a bit of time off of P3, bring this game back into it. But we do know that P3 to P4, that's the key, that's the momentum flip. And Rancor just trying to get the right angle here onto Brack. Does the same thing as well. Going to be in a bit of trouble though. There are players all around him. Super will find the first. That is a wide chow onto the second. As it's still all about positioning as Uli goes for this push all the way through.
All right, now for P7. Yeah, you've kind of bent a little bit across that rotation to P3. You can see Heretics putting a lot of focus on this P4 spawns, and in doing so, they've actually kept this P3 a little bit contested. Pro going to fight for some of that time, but as long as P7 have about a 30-point lead, that's going to give them some time to work a break for the setup that Heretics will have at the Money Hill.
Here we go. You sacrifice scrap for this. Must not break on this first rotate. Rancor, ready up. ADS. Here comes the pressure so far, not a lot. Sandy will be the first one to test the waters. Rancor guns him down easily. P7 have got to be careful here. They do not have a cohesive push quite yet, and that's going to be a problem. They don't have the angles. Rancor finds two. Eventually, Prolute goes down. That's the first domino.
This is the reason why you make that risky play to give up old time. It is such a good hill to rotate to. Now you're eclipsing the lead that P7 had. It's finally a chance for P7 to maybe get a break towards this for the last 23 seconds. Yuli with the double kill gets them in, but Heretics, that is a job well done to bring you back in this game.
Well, so far it will be P7 with the lead going into it. Heretics are not committing bodies to this. And P7 also know this. Brack is going to be out. It's all going to be on Brack, but already goes down to Rencor. They have shut that weakness down already. Yuli already finds medals as well. Sandy finds a second one, and Heretics had this rotation. Fortunately, a couple of kills gives it back to them. But this is a bit of a reset for both teams. Nobody had everybody into that point yet, but it will still be P7 who have to break.
Yeah, Heretics have the setup that they want. Riyadh trades out, still favoring over towards the Heretics. Prelude in trouble, slide down, good shots, but no kills to boot. Bates his life long enough for Standy to get active inside and keeping P7 in this one. Keeping Team Heretics out of the time for the moment, but they have yet to take a route. Nobody's trying to break these spawns, and Heretics are going to be feeling good as long as they can draw the line in the sand.
Well, so far, P7 looking to beat a little bit of time off of it. Super finds 2 as well. Now, you are right. This is all about this P2 rotation. Last time around, Heretics let this one into the wind. Prelude cut them asunder with 3. Hasn't had a good game since that point. But can he make magic again? Is he a magician?
Oh, I mean, right away, that's 4 down. Doesn't get better than that for Heretics, so no, you cannot be a magician off the start. Heretics are going to have the setup and the initial time, should even take this lead quickly away from P7 Esports, but with that, you get the spawns up. You already take control of Catwalk. If Super goes down, the pressure is going to be there, but he holds his ground.
Super trying to hold all the angles he can. You can see him trying to hold back the tide as well. Finds Brack at the same time. Everybody down. Lines are going to be clear. Stanley going to get that back spawn for his team as well. They need to know this is going to happen. Rancor already ripped Standy down to bits. They're going to watch this next spawn coming, and now they know they are spawning out. Heretics will try and hold on for as long as possible, and Rancor wasn't a 5 streak before he fell.
This is just a good job of playing your life inside the objective. P7 can't get a lick of time here or even a chance to break off this P2 hill. It's been near flawless for Team Heretics, and medals on 3 in a row. Soaking up the scrap time now. You got the rotation to P3, and Heretics are there again. Ever since we've rotated to the second set of hills, Heretics have been all over these rotations.
Fundamentals just locked in, solid. Slaying also good here for Heretics. P7 taking a bit of a backseat in these last couple of hills. Can they rejuvenate themselves? It is a battle on P3. Bodies and shoulders in abundance as everybody looks for their pound of flesh.
Shots in, medals. Is he going to take these spawns away yet again for the P4 side? Yeah. Heretics, they know what they need to do. They have a good enough lead that, again, you don't need this time. You saw how much you got off that P4 setup. Why not try for a full 60? And P7, they recognize that. They're going to try to get active, but again, 4 down clean. It was a rocky start for the Heretics price, but they have found their comfort zone.
This is what I talk about, fundamentals. You can see Heretics making the right moves.
Yeah.
And it is giving them the opportunity to find these strings of kills over and over again. Another Heretics kill feed. Stanley will fight back though. Only going to get a second of scrap time, but the same old story. P7 will now have to go for a hard break. It will need to be cleaner than it was last time.
It was 40 uncontested seconds last time you were at this hill, so it's got to be quicker than that, but medals with 3 in a row. 160 to 98, and you're sent packing yet again. Medals is in a great spot now to deny any presence onto that statue, and with Super up top, there's no way you're crossing the street.
And now they're trying to get back into this for a bit of scrap time. They've already got a player out of the point for a few seconds, and now they're getting close. This is exactly what they needed as well. P7 Esports rocketing into it, but Medals and Real's reacting, trying to get more kills going down at the same time. Towards the back, they know he's going to be here. Pistol going to be out, and Stanley gets gunned. And Real's like, all right, who's next? Doesn't matter. Medals takes that kill away, and the Heretics continue to pile on the points on P4.
This is a walloping across the second set. 80-point lead for Team Heretics heading into the third set of rotations of Vault. And yes, you're here if you're P7, but you desperately need something to go your way in this kill feed. Real trying to find a break. He's going to have some assistance, and Medals the turn on for 4 in a row. Another 4 down, and it's an effortless break on P1.
And now you can see the Heretics' confidence swimming like an ocean. And they refuse to even let them get anything going forward here. For P7, it looked good to begin with. It does not look good so far. They continue to pile on with the slaying game, and P7 cannot find a crumb, a biscuit, a cookie, nothing on this point. And it's over 200 for Heretics. P7 Esports barely over 1.
Standing on the slide in, you need this break to go fast. And not only that, you need ult, you need to fight through and flip spawns. That's not even gonna work. You don't even get past go. You don't collect $200, not even a second of time there. So Heretics put themselves in a striking distance to clean up game one, what has felt like a shutout since P4, the first set of hills.
And it just has been a Heretics game. This is what they're doing, confidence flowing, they keep on pushing. They have made a little misstep here though. Maybe too many gunfights for them to get through, and pressure towards the back as Super does get 3, but it includes his teammates, so trade not really going well. Riyadh already going to be dropping the hammer from above, doesn't need to find anyone, the rest of the team picking up kills at the same time. For P7 Esports, this is a long way back, and it just doesn't look possible.
Here are the kills in 30 seconds. It's just going to be barely enough to put it away, so you do have to hit it this one more time if you're P7, but it has not looked good on the break attempts, and it's not going to look good this time.
Well. Heretics making a statement in map number 1. Killing sprees everywhere. The KD's incredible. P7, welcome to the big leagues.
And look at how elated the crowd is for this team. It is echoing through the arena. This is going to provide a little bit more pressure for P7. You talk about it, they have been reapers through the Challenger circuit, but Bryce, now that you got a fan base like this, just echoing in your ears through the comms, that is going to be tough to deal with.
It is. It's a confidence thing. My favorite thing about Heretics is this, and it's always been this. They don't care who they play. They've never cared who they play.
Yeah.
The bigger the team, the more they rise to the occasion. The smaller the team, they're still going just as hard. It is a wonderful consistency that is actually absent in a surprising number of players that play this professionally. The Heretics don't care, they want to win. It's all about that momentum, that hype for them, and trying to prove themselves every single game.
And even though they've proved themselves so many times this year, you're right, it doesn't change. You show up, you play, you do your job, and you do it good. It was a little bit shaky at the start of this game, but as soon as they got those fundamentals in, you rotate over towards P4, give up the P3 scrap time. It just seems like P7 could never catch up, and you never really saw P7 go above and beyond to focus towards those big money hills in P2 or P4. Heretics, they're not going to give you any mistakes to play with. And I think that's the missing ego that you love to see in these players, is that you're right, whether it's Optic or P7, it doesn't matter. It's still a team that you need to beat at the end of the day.
It really is. And you saw, as we go through the replays here, that was the turning point. All tied up at 88 apiece. Unfortunately, from that point, a new gear was raised. Team Heretics took over the map from here, P2 to P3, locked in a P4, and P7 had no idea what was going on.
You even see Metals, he's 8 and 11 at that hill, a minute 30 of hill time. It's the selfless plays that bring this team just into the heavens of this Vault game. And I mean, for P7, you had moments as well. I mean, every single time you're grouping up for this P4 break, you're doing the right things, playing together, trying to get into those positions to at least battle against those power spots. But it's as soon as you get in the gunfight, Heretics just weren't losing those battles at all. And it was making matters even worse. So either that comes down to maybe you're used to winning those fights, maybe you're used to being able to slide out, rip somebody off a heady. It's just, that's a wake-up call right there. And heading into the search and destroy, I don't expect P7 to stay down for long, but that's a tough pill to swallow.
It certainly is. And Heretics just fought really, really strongly. And I think this is going to be a momentum game for them. They've got that very dedicated fan base that are going to be here. And, you know, don't get me wrong, it's not as big as some of the Heretics fan bases we've seen, because obviously this is a slightly different situation for them, but these fans are loud.
Yeah.
They are very, very loud. I don't know how much you can hear of it on stream, but trust me, there are times when I can't hear myself.
I had to turn you up.
Yeah, and we've got a microphone, and we're above them on the stage. They're not that far from us, but my goodness, have they got lungs.
It's not even that. You know, the other side streams are gone, so it's the fans here for the Heretics, and they are letting P7 know that they are not alone in this arena. But this is something that you go into the search and destroy now for P7 Esports. It's been their bread and butter for the most part, especially when we are looking back at Kitchener and their way to that final stage. This is where you look at each one of these players and their history screams, we are good at search and destroy. And that's what's going to test this Heretics roster. Now you do one thing, you add Major Maniac to that roster, and I don't think that there's really any better player to take you from a loss like that and reset you going into a game 2. And I think that, you know, the Sergeant's going to drill in that you need to start strong in this S&D.
Well, we'll see. It is the great equalizer between squads of all calibers. And you can see them locking in. P7 ready to go to war one more time against the Heretics. They do not want to let this one slip any further. It looked like a pretty good start from the Hardpoint, but will the S&D be the same?
Well, we saw dealership earlier between G2 and Cloud9. Cloud9 wiped the floor with them. P7, let's see if they can bounce back. And it is so far so good on the defensive side. They stopped the attempt over towards B, but it's going to be a fast rotation back to A to get the bomb planted.
They're waiting, trying to bait this out. There we go, there's the first nade. They know it's coming as well. They don't have trophies to protect themselves, and he's hoping to get a little bit there onto Uli. 2 versus 3, they need a kill somewhere.
They're going to go all the way around. Yeah. I love this call, and P7 are almost eating into it. Fortunately enough, they will be able to fast rotate if they get a catch of it, but no, not anymore. So,
oh, they come back.
Oh, this is actually going to work out for them.
Easy catch. And Meadows, unfortunately, committed back to the side as well, and now he's just hugely outnumbered, Uli. Just playing his life until he gets it. P7, a 3-man wolf pack round the back, works out, and they take that first round of S&D.
You know, I don't want to take anything away from it. You kind of got lucky on that Team Heretics did move back. Yeah, you go for the bait play, you get quiet, try to see if you can take away that presence on the A site and get that bomb planted, but I mean, for P7, that's what I like to see, commitment to the play call. And you called for the rotation over towards A to flip that map, and you do exactly that, and it works in your favor. So heading into this next round for P7, let's see how they fare on the attack.
Aggressive, straight out of the gate. P7 committing to this. Taking out cards, getting to the point, he's going for a fast plant as well. They're not expecting this. There will not be the trophies and the artillery to take him out of it so far. Here comes a trophy.
And look how deep this post plant is. In fact, you're going to full clear through B, get that rotation, and you have middle map control, you have B control, and Heretics don't know where to look.
They've really been run off this map as well. They're now having to fight from the back at the same time. And probably doing a good job to get out of there, looking for the kill, and Riyadh somehow finds him as well. Back to the door, 3 versus 3, Renkor finds another one as well. It will be Standy, though, on the flank. Brack runs away. They're trying to play time here. They've done so well, and Brack will look for this. Timing is now everything. Has to win that gunfight, will not. Heretics, what a retake after they were being run around the map.
It all comes down to that fight with Riyadh and Prolude. You walk away with what seemed like an impossible heady to rip, but the shots were clean, and you bring things back into a 3v3. Renkor dives into small room, and a lot of P7 just gambled on all those island plays to win your 1v1s, and you don't. Heretics, it's a ball of rage to bring themselves back into this dealership on that retake, and that's something you look at that you should not have won that round, but P7 fed right into their hands.
Well, certainly did, and now we're all tied up, but I agree with you. I thought that round was over. Heretics were panicking. You could tell there were so many players all across. And now this is a bit of a headbutt as well. There are so many players going to be in here. If Super dives in, he could be in trouble. Still throwing it, still backing off as well. Calm play there from Super.
They're going to flip this B site as soon as the aggression comes in through mid. So you have window control. If anybody chows, Ariel is going to rip you a new one. So the respect is there for the B plants in, and Brack just cannot get any eyes on it.
Oh, Brack finds Real though. 42 seconds left to go. Renkor almost thinks he should probably chow this. He's trying to get this kill down. He needs that player out of there as well. They're giving up the bomb site. This is dangerous.
Yeah, but you retake mid, and Brack's going to be the one to hold us down.
Super finds Prolo as well. Back in the 3-3 from Els with another one as well. Rencor in the window, but no, Stanley finds one. Only finds another. Super finds one. 1v1 and Super wins it! Oh my goodness, the Heretics players are not missing. Over and over again, numerical disadvantage, and they walk away with the round.
I mean, I can't believe they just full retake mid and then turn and burn from Super to get both players on 2 separate fights. It's why this man brought him on stage to be the shared quote-unquote rookie of the year for this team, because even when I asked Rencor between, you know, our previous tournament and EWC, he said Super brings it so much to this team, not just in firepower, but the leadership calls that he has, and that is a dynamic that you don't get from many players.
Well, let's see how this continues. Heretics taking the lead in this S&D. It does look like P7 are about to make a push into B here. They're checking their lanes. There's not a lot of pressure from Heretics to stop them.
Lands coming out. Standy, the angle was not cleared, and Metals with free shots. Brack's going to trade it. Steal numbers, though, for Heretics in the retake.
Trying to get out of there as well, but now down to a 1 versus. That's it. It's a clear. It's a Heretics retake again. They are not putting a foot wrong whenever they need to.
There needed to be some communication on Standy on where to walk or where to stand, because you had no control of middle window. Nobody's going to be watching that angle. You walk out, give your life for free. Brack does trade it, but you're just opening up some timings for Heretics to slip into these advantages and pick you apart on these retakes. And whether that's a lack of communication on those timings being missed, or just players who think they know exactly the play to hit, and it's just not working out. But that team cohesion that we saw in round 1, it has quickly left the building.
It very much hasn't. Here comes all control through the mid at the moment, but what was control has now become a little bit of a trap. They're unsure where to go from here. And Rencor going down as well takes away more options.
Prolo's got to be careful on that one. Headshot multiplayer on the Jackal, and nobody's going to calm that Riyadh's inside of office. So Prolo's going to try to pick things up. He goes down 2 versus 2. Super on 5 in a row. Riyadh on 3.
Brack just overwatching here. I think he's just going to play across as well. That's information. Wants to get back into it. His teammate Stanley trying to get back into this fight. Riyadh going to be careful here. Stanley should be able to take him down. It does. 1 versus 2. He's going for this one as well. I'm not sure this is going to work out. I'm wondering where he is as well. And, well, they eventually catch him. Just unable to get away with it that time. The Heretics P7 lock in and get the round.
We finally see a moment where P7 stop, communicate, and hit the timing together. Brack plays the information, reads that the 1 versus 2 is going to be very available for Standy as soon as he makes that flank. And I like that play call from P7, finally showing that they're working together in these rounds. This could be a situation where maybe that panic is inside of those chaotic moments where Heretics seems to thrive. P7, they need to find some structure in these rounds to deny Heretics from those miracle moments. And it looks like we're getting a fast plant to A once again, Bryce.
They're going for it. Look, same strategy, same break. Trophies down this time gives them an opportunity to do this a little bit safer. Last time they lost this on the retake. This time they are deep. 3 players all ready for gunning. RCXD going to go out. Metals takes down Super as well. That's a disaster. And Uni will have already sewn this round up, surely. Heretics now at 2 versus 4. No control. Not much hope. They've got 1 back.
That's the time here that you're worried about. 24 seconds to make these plays. Another one from Metals, but the trade right behind him from Brack's going to have to be a 1 versus 2 for Rencor in the span of 10 seconds, and that is a very difficult play to make. So P7 find themselves back in the search and destroy. And yeah, it's a lot better. Changing that, instead of sending a player on the deep flank through B, having that middle map control, it's just full send to A. You get that setup. You're kind of bunkered, but you have the trophies down and you're comfortable in that zone. So yes, you're graced off the team kill, but it was a lot better of a setup at A than we saw in the last time they were there.
And for Heretics, realistically, that strategy will have to be identified. You cannot allow them to keep getting that plant down. I know you got the retake the first time around. Either you're going to have to put more pressure in, commit more tacticals, commit more grenades, or do something to give yourself a better chance at that retake.
Well, it looks like P7's turn to retake this A site. Nobody in the middle of the map. Does look like we're going to have a chance to get a quick flank. Proloot going to open things up. That's the green light to go, but Metals with the trade. E plays his life, gets away. The RCXD, though, keeping P7 in the driver's seat.
Still holding it down. Rancor really wants to get Proloot here. He wants to take it down. He's going for it. It looks like he's going to be an aggressive push. He's trying to find them. Too many bodies for him to shoot, and unfortunately will fall to Brack. Super gets one back down at 1 versus 2. Yuli's going to be behind him, knows where he should be. So he's like, wait, where have they gone? Where have they gone?
I know exactly where Super is. 2 versus 1. Buddy system. Hold hands, trade things out. Not only does Super have to clutch this, but he's got to recover that bomb. 33 seconds. Lots of time to play with.
Well, enough time now has passed that neither team is 100% certain where the other will be. They're going for the rotate back here. Oh, he's going to get caught. It's unfortunately going to go down. Super will not be able to do anything about that. P7 take that round. And they are fighting back majestically as they take the lead in this S&D.
That's 3 in a row. So slowly but surely, P7 are battling against what has been a very difficult series since that map number 1. But they've stopped the bleeding. They've figured out structure in this game, and that start from Prolo, you get that first blood, everybody hits the brakes, you use the RCXD off a little bit of chaos to get the trade inside the bomb, denying that plant from going down, forcing Team Heretics to overexert themselves to get anything done. That is a good one for P7, now up by 1. See if they can make it 2.
Looking for a bit of mid-pressure. This is all on Standy. They've left him on an island and doesn't make the kill, unfortunately, and gets taken down. It's a risky play. They left Standy there to make the kill. He just couldn't get the bullets on, hit a couple of kneecaps, but nothing else. And now they've lost one of the tools in their arsenal.
And you still have Yuli playing alone at A, denying any chance for a flank, but nobody's going to be watching mid. It's going to make it tough to get this bomb down, Bryce.
Rancor finds one back. 2 versus 2. Just a little bit of a shoulder here. Rancor identifies the players are there. And this worries P7 just a bit. Like, well, we've given away a bit of information about where we're going. They haven't rotated yet. They're actually holding, waiting for the push. This might be a late rotate off.
They're going back in, though. They haven't read this at all. Proloot has 21 seconds to do anything. He's got the bomb, but if you want to plant at A, you got to run there. And Rancor's watching through the middle of the map. They know exactly where he is. 13 seconds. This is near impossible.
All right, but he's going to get it down. Just 1 kill. Just 1 little hope as well. And he will get off as well at the same time, but it isn't going to be enough. And Heretics tie the S&D up again.
That was such a good call from Heretics. You lose a situation where you were up in a 4-on-2. A bank nade from Brack destroys a car, picks somebody up inside the garage, but as soon as you shoulder that B site, you get the kill back, you get out, flip it over towards the shed, and you force away what is a very scared P7 attack over towards B. I thought they would have been a little bit more, I'd say, they just full send it for the rotation if they want to give up B, but the fact that they give it up and go back, just Heretics are all over this, so confident.
It's an aggressive push. Heretics looking to get a bit of B control. There are going to be 2 players from P7 that are here. Nade's going out. Trophy's going to be down as well. A huge stake. How on earth Riyadh has found that? Bomb now going down. Heretics, heavy advantage.
This is a round that you want to get if you're P7. After being up in the lead, losing 2 in a row is going to make this one tough. Trophy systems destroyed, and you still haven't got that trade.
That was to go down, but unfortunately that trade is good for Heretics. 3 versus 2. Now a 1 versus 3. Proloot, 23 seconds in a dream. Unfortunately, they are not giving him time of day. Here comes a double chow around the corner. Heretics regain the lead here on the S&D. They are now on map point.
His team is just so resilient every single time. That first blood from Riyadh, you didn't see him until he just pops up inside the garage to shut down any presence you had over towards the back shed. And P7 have really struggled at locking down the information on where these players are and what routes their SMGs are running. Heading into the 10th round of this S&D, You look to see what the team can rally behind on this attack, and it has to be more confident than what we saw in the last round. It looks like it's going to be a dedication over towards A, but similar to what we saw before with middle map being watched and the B flank.
This time they've slowed it down. P7 have adjusted, but will that adjustment work? Here the RCXD going out now to clear some space. And it's still a game of hold.
This is a situation where if Standy doesn't see anybody, you might be calling for that rotation over towards B. He's going to start working his way, but that opens up a route for the flank, and they're not going to be ready for it.
Got to be careful. This could be a good trade. Here's one. Will he get it anymore? He gets a second as well. Riyadh almost gets the third. It's not going to be good enough. Heretics, though, advantage here on map point. All they have to do is not trade badly, and Heretics will take this map and go 2-0 up.
How do you clutch this one? Middle map under control. Standy aggressive, though. He's looking for any moment. B site open for the plant, but Standy needs this kill.
Bomb down. Renkor finds Brack already. Standy alone, and down. And the Heretics fire back again. 2-0 now in this series, putting P7 to the sword. It was a good show from P7 for most of the time, but most of the time is not good enough in this competition. And now the Heretics just one map away.
And you think all the way back to that round where you had the 3 versus 2, you missed the retake, and you just allow Heretics back into the round over at A. And since then, Heretics, they just did not give up that lead one bit, Bryce. I think that for Heretics just in general, we know this team is fantastic at S&D, but the break attempts that we saw every single time, P7 just missing a timing, and then somebody from Heretics finds that weakness, they expose you, and you have Riyadh running amok, you have Super clutching up 1 versus 2s, you have everybody drawing first bloods for your team, and you saw so many moments where P7 just get caught off guard by the sheer skill and speed that these Heretics are bringing to this game right now. And even in the last one for the plant that you had at B, I got no idea why Brack full sends it all the way into uncleared territory. Renkor happy to rip that kill away for the 1v3.
Yeah, and they got. I mean, you got to give it to Heretics as well. Even when they didn't have the advantage, it just looked better from them. And they really knew exactly what they want to do post-plant as well. And that's just a massive aspect of the game here on S&D. Your breaks can be good, but the way you adapt to post-plants is really a difference maker.
This moment from Riyadh, that felt like a dagger in the round. You almost brought yourself back from it in this 2v3, but yeah, Brack just sending it after the plant. It's that situation in the post plant that's the difference between this P7 team. It seemed like it was very adjustable, very audible on what they were making for their calls, and nothing ever set in stone on where to be. Very disconnected, very isolated. 12 and 6 from Riyadh. He was fantastic. 4 first bloods, 1,500 damage as well. Brack was right there for the most part, but you see that's back-to-back rough maps from Standy, and you need him to step up against a team like Heretics desperately right now.
Yeah, you do, and obviously having a bit of a rough time. We talked about it. I think Standy's still a very talented player, but Heretics are on a roll. They really are.
Yeah.
Will this roll into map number 3? We will find out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Picture impossible. Lenovo Legion.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to EWC. We are live with a game here and it's all Vamos Heretics as they are 2-0 up in this series versus P7 Esports. It has not been completely one-sided. The Heretics have looked stronger. P7 have had opportunities. The Hardpoint maybe not a glowing part on their resume, but the S&D could have gone either way potentially.
Yeah, I mean, that is a situation for P7 where you get the dealership. It was your bread and butter back in Kitchener, and it's just not feeling the same ever since you went onto that stage against Omid. Now against Heretics, the Search and Destroy challenge gets leveled up even more. And you had that stint through the middle portion where you go back to, you get 3 rounds in a row, you looked like you had a handle on it, and it just gets ripped right out from under you. I think that the one thing that I see from P7 very often, I guess just in general through the series, even the Hardpoint I saw lots, is the individual chows from them. It seems like every time they want to make a play, you never see all 4 players really on the same page for these plays. And you go into something like Control now, that is, you desperately need that to change.
You certainly do. And coming off for the break, you'd hope P7 have locked in, maybe had a great team talk and said, all right, we need to make this win. You've got to remember the groups are at stake for all of these. And for P7, they're like, hey, maybe we can take this one. The goal, if you haven't seen it, is basically called GSL groups. Easy to understand if you think of it as a mini bracket. Basically, if you win 2 before you lose 2, you're all good. If you lose 2 before you win 2, you're out. So essentially, every game does matter very, very much because you only get 2 opportunities to lose, and if you lose those, you're out.
And even for this group in general, this is the group of death, I'd say. You got 2 challengers teams in here with P7 and Omid, and then FaZe and Heretics. So if you want to make it out of this group, you have to either beat FaZe, who is undeniably one of the best Call of Duty teams in at least the CDL era, or you have to beat Heretics, who have just been feeding off of nothing but passion throughout the entire year, just trying to break that ceiling that has been how high can the Heretics go in Black Ops 6. And right now for EWC, this is the end of the road. You're leaving it all out on the table no matter what team you are. And I feel like for Heretics in general, you've got to top 4, but that's not where you're feeling good. You want more right now if you're this team. And, you know, you fix a couple of aspects when it comes down to the mentality of the game and how you handle, you know, day-to-day changes. And this team could be golden.
We will see. Only time ever tells us the answer to these riddles, these questions, and these moments of opportunity. For Heretics, this is maybe just another step on their journey. They want out of groups. They want a chance to face against the big boy pro teams again, to disrupt that narrative that while they are good up until a point, they then falter. On the other side of the stage here, of course, P7 down by 2 will not only look for this reverse sweep, but a chance to prove themselves in the eyes of many fans. Most of them ex-pros, all of them ex-pros actually.
Yeah.
All of them ex-pros that have been removed from the Pro League for one roster change or another. Victory at this event would be one of the sweetest rewards they could ever get. But at the moment, It is not looking that likely. Momentum on the side of Heretics fans, on the side of Heretics score, on the side of Heretics. The journey is long, but the rewards are still up for grab.
I look at the players on the stage for P7 Esports. They've been there, they've done that. They've been in big moments, they've fought against pressure for the entirety of their career. And they dream big. You even think back to, somebody like Standy, who's a part of the Minnesota Miracle. It's never over. And who was alongside him for that ride? It's the man standing right behind him right now on that coaching desk. The man who said it's never chalked. So you go into this game 3 with a different attitude, a different mindset. I'm looking at P7 to start strong.
Oh, here comes a big push from them already, but Brack will find the first. And that's exactly what they want to do realistically, but it will be Heretics that walk away with that first deluge. You can see Standy's already pushed through. He wants to farm them off the point, keep them staggered over and over again. It's only really Metals who's gone down. Eventually, another player from the Heretics will do so as well. Rencor looking for some kills to keep this churning. At the moment, though, it will be P7 with a slight advantage. They do have bodies out onto the map. They can still prevent them from getting on a point.
And Heretics didn't get that first segment, so still some chances from P7 to deny the progress on the objectives. Looks like it will be locked in, at least for that first tick at A. But P7 right now doing a great job at least locking down a lot of the space on the map over towards Arches, denying any chances over towards B for a stack.
Here comes the next wave of fights. Both teams just trying to keep it up as well, but Brack, that's huge. Finding 2 as well. And now for Team Heretics, it is regain here on the map. They've lost control. Rencor already finds 2 though, and that's opened it up. Realistically, P7 may have to send a player back. It's all on Rencor now to try and farm another player out as well, and he finds Brack for the second time.
What a call there. 5-1 from Rencor. He's just trying to be an issue right now. Allow for the players off spawn to have a little bit of an easier job to break out of that trap. It's a dash over towards A with 17.3 seconds. Lives are even, Bryce, for Heretics to steal this round away.
And Rencor just not able to get the timing on that slide. Sandy catches him. Riyadh has to get off the point as well. This is danger time now for Heretics. They want to make the kills at the same time. Riyadh somehow find that one. Rencor found another one. And Heretics wiping them out on the points they need to be. Only one player left alive. It's going to be Brack. Brack looking for him. Finds the first. Looks for the second. Not going to get it. Rencor, big kill from him. Minute back onto the clock. Heretics stay alive.
Rookie of the year, Rencor. He goes big when it matters. And you're just thinking of your P7, not like this. Over towards B already. Progress getting worked on. Brack in a 1 versus 1. He's got the stun on towards outer fences, but he needs to take this win. Trying to delay for the rest of the team who are winning their battles elsewhere, but you have to deal with the pressure on B right now.
They can't get it. Metals is staying alive for so long onto this point. Their clock has been stopped. The B tick has already been gotten as well. Eventually, Heretics managed to get past the blockade. And one of the things that they are having issues with is Metals. I've never seen him go 0-7.
I mean, 0-7, but you still got a chance to light this one up. Super's in a good position for a flank, and nobody's going to be ready for it except for Brack. So good pickup there. And I guess all eyes on Metals to see if he can find a kill.
Metals just trying to stay alive. Finds it as well. Finds Yuli. Could be a very big kill here as well. Standing going to go down. Comes flowing from Heretics. You can see it by the way they're reacting to the kills going on across the map here. Got to be careful. Super going to be on top as well. Metals finds another big kill. This is massive for them now as well. Proloot trying to keep a premier position up the top at the same time. He'll find only 1. And now he will have to make a move. He needs to give his team some sort of relief to break this deadlock.
The stacks in, 2 players here. Off the respawn, the reinforcements arriving. Metals on 4 in a row. Looking for the wall bangs, the pistol. Not going to lock down that kill just yet, but 3 versus 3. Make it a 3v2. P7 still a chance to walk away with it in the 2v2. All down to Proloot and Metals. Wow! From 0-7 to 5-7. And each one locks down the zone.
Incredible play there. You can see him really turn it on. As soon as he started finding kills, the story told was very, very different. And now Heretics in that first round onto the board. Momentum still on their side.
everything feels like it's on their side right now. It is just a situation where P7, you had it in the palm of your hands. It was that moment from Metals too. 0-7, he delays so much time over towards that B zone, just contesting, allowing for those fights to be a little bit more even off the respawn. And how many times do we see Rencor winning some big battles on the opposite end of the field in P7 spawn, just continuing to go blow for blow against each other? This feels like a heavyweight matchup, and it's haymakers on either side.
So far, P7 have kind of struck the first blow there. They're getting straight onto B. At the same time, Rencor looking for one up the top, and a little bit of a wobble from both sides. Not able to get a clean kill going down. First tick already flying out as well. Rencor's going to get bad timing, but the rest of his team do not, and they clear the field.
They're 4 down, and it's not a situation where you can really incite a spawn trap, but next best thing, the lanes are covered. So it is step by step for P7 Esports to see if they can work into a situation to dive onto the zone. But as soon as you get to the top halls, Rencor's there with an AR. He's not missing. And it seems like whatever happens once you find that first kill, if you're Metals, he just went from 0-7 to 8-8.
Well, that is a turnaround and a half, and they're now looking to lock them back into spawn. Done a pretty good job here. Super with the last one alive. He'll look for one more trade before he gets taken down, or at least cut off this alleyway, allowing the rest of his team to get into choke point positions. But Brack makes a big kill in the Metals. Brack will be looking for one more. If he gets it, he should push into the spawn and try to keep on farming these players. That's what he's doing, just checking every single one of his corner, looking for somebody, but it does get caught. Oh. That is unfortunate timing when he needed some luck.
Just looking a little too high on that staircase. Rencor trying to get things back into a spawn trap situation. Alongside him will be Metals. And through the double doors of Spiral, you got 10 seconds to hop onto any zone, but it's a 10-life disadvantage. It just gets worse and worse when you keep looking at different stats on the screen. But Heretics, it is a beautiful sight for the fans in the crowd. 2-0 up in the control, 1 round away from sweeping P7 in the group.
And the fans know, and they are jubilant here at the side of the stage. Heretics just 1 round of control away from sweeping P7 completely. And it does feel like destiny has already been written. It feels like the words are on the page. The reporters have put out the headlines, and it has been written into the history of Call of Duty. But P7, while all hope looks lost, there is always a chance. There is always an opportunity. They would have to go for the super reverse sweep, which means 3 back-to-back rounds in control, and then the next 2 maps as well. It has been so rarely done in Call of Duty. It is almost a myth in itself.
Well, can you turn it into reality right now when you need it the most? And Metals, nothing is stopping him ever since he started to get active in that kill feed. 3 go down, you're over towards B. It's a double stack for now, but that's still going by really fast.
And Metals just isn't dying. From 0-7 to 12-10, the Heretics are just kicking a puppy at the moment. P7 are not even fighting back.
It is just lights out ever since they got going in this control. The series just in general already over towards A. P7, they need something to go their way. It just looks gloomy on their side of the stage.
Beauty in the Premier position, should be able to get one and does. Not going to be able to get the second. Too many guns against him here. Realistically, Heretics need to just condense a little bit. You're doing a very, very good job. You're winning the kills here, but you could have ended this already. They've just got to be careful not to be overzealous. So far, the second tick is going to be in. 1 more tick, and this game is over.
And it looks like it's being delivered on the way. Last chance for P7, and it is now 14 lives playing 22. You have no control towards the top of hall. Standy gonna get away, but you got so much work to do right now. He's doing his best, but his best just doesn't seem good enough.
And there we go. That is the end. Surely it is done. Heretics thrash P7 in a dominant fashion here on the stage. P7, there was a whisper of opportunity in the early game. Unfortunately, Heretics are loud and shouting, and they have taken them to task.
I mean, I love the boys on P7. They have grinded their way through this year of Call of Duty. They have surely earned their chance to be on this stage at EWC. It is a tough sight to see a loss like that. It is hard not to rally behind this Team Heretics roster when you got the crowd behind them, when you got the storylines developing, and the performance that they put on, it is second to none, no matter who they're playing against.
This is it. This is what I said is different about Heretics. It is one of the reasons that you should be a fan of Heretics regardless. They play everyone like they are walking out to the Super Bowl. Over and over again, they never take a step back. They never take an easy game. They never relent, and they've done it once again.
They have indeed. I'm very out of breath, though, from cheering with the fan club. Cheering with the fan club, out of breath. Quite frankly, it was incredibly exciting.
It's
what
fantastic.
A first 3-0 of the day, looking so good. Heretics, they start with momentum on their side. We talked about this, how potentially it's really something that they feed massively into. But of course, I think just to be the devil's advocate here as well, it can be something that's going to bite them a little bit later on, as I take a massive deep breath as well. When it comes to the kind of bigger, better teams and the Titans that we've seen in Call of Duty in the pro side of things, I do think that they struggle because of momentum against them. You need to pick up momentum per map against them and kind of foresee going back and forth in a series. Do you think that they have what it takes this time around to go up against some of the Titans like them?
I think that every time they take the stage, they have what it takes to play up against them. There is some blockades in their mind that holds them back when it comes down to, you get to that Sunday, suddenly maybe it's inexperience when you're in those big moments against them, just trying to get clutch that win at the end of the tournament. But it also could just come down to some over-aggression, just some eagerness to get there at the same time. I talked to Redcore leading into this tournament. He said that a major thing that they play with that is always the advantage is that momentum. They feed off of it, and when it's gone, they need to find some sort of mentality to just lock down where they're good at, harness that, and hold on to that even when they're not feeling the most momentous in the day. It's something that you definitely can see working out.
Indeed, I want to also talk about just a massive moment there as well for Males. I mean, he starts things off in that final map, 0 and 7. And I was thinking, oh dear. I mean, they're still doing well attacking wise. They're still, you know, they've got A, they're over to B. The fact that he can hold down that B zone all on his own, questionably one of, you know, unarguably one of the most difficult zones to capture, especially by oneself at the time. It is incredible. That was a tremendous effort from him. You know, ducking, weaving, just really reading every single player that was pushing him and never getting pinched and never getting overwhelmed by it. I was incredibly impressed with just how icy Metals was in that situation.
It's just, it's what you bring him in to do. And there's at one point when you look at Metals, especially coming into this team last year, it was fantastic in Search and Destroy, absolutely lights out. A lot of it came down to how can you improve in your respawns, and that's one of them, just playing your life, making sure that you have a presence even when you're not shooting your gun. And he did that exactly in this map that sets apart where P7 just could never lock down that kill. It gave so many options for Rencore to get big moments. It gave options for Riyadh to have those big moments. And same thing with Super. And it's that teamwork, that cohesion in Black Ops 6 that really sets some teams apart.
It certainly does.